No,
Well, I want to welcome everybody. Lucas and the staff primarily take over putting together the annual report. It'll be on our website. So I wrote a brief introduction saying we've had a good year. We look forward to another good year. And I'm very interested, like most of you are, to see we can see all the statistics. So we find out all that we did this last year during 2023. So Lucas, I'll turn it over to you and the staff.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Ina Grace. And yeah, so much of what Ina Grace said, I would just echo that very much a wonderful year in review, as well as looking forward to the future, working together. So I'm certainly really impressed by just as so much of the slideshow will capture here, the vast array of the different programs and services and opportunities for everyone to engage with Chicago Hyde Park Village in support of this vibrant aging in community. And so over the next few slides here, as we come together for our annual meeting, we're going to be celebrating the accomplishments of the entire CHPV community. So that includes our members, our donors, the community partners, the volunteers, board of directors, and our staff. So a big thank you. Certainly, personally, I want to thank the board of directors. I'm very grateful for the relationship that we have together and the mutual support and trust in running this organization. So many hands hand in hand here, and so leading this organization and building this powerful community in support of healthy aging. And a big shout out to our newest board member, Arvind Sripada. He and we just had a great phone call leading up to this presentation a little while ago. And so we're really excited to have Arvind on board, and as well as everyone else on our vibrant board of directors here, steering this ship in our great journey. I'm also, of course, extremely grateful for the passion and the dedication of my coworkers, Dorothy Pytel, Laura Voss Allen, and Xiu Lin, who is our intern this year from the University of Chicago's Crown Family School of Social Work Policy and Practice. So big shout out to the staff, and a special shout out to CHPV member Paul Staniland for his artful eye and his expertise with the camera to take these great staff photos. We're really happy with the way they turned out. So some real professional headshots for CHPV. So that's great. And then very much, we love to say that it takes a village here at our village. So as a community of neighbors helping neighbors, so much of CHPV's positive impact hinges on the efforts of our many steadfast volunteers for their tireless commitment to help and build the community. And our committees are very much the nexus of a lot of that great work. So I wanted to definitely highlight our different committees and just a few of the recent projects, newer projects in the work we've been working on, some accomplishments, as well as some things in the year ahead. So, and we have our chairs of our committees, and you will notice a few vacancies in some chairs. So definitely, I want to invite everyone here to consider joining one of these committees if you aren't already involved, or if you want to be more involved. So, but just a couple small things here. Our Member Services Committee, chaired by Jenny Cook, we're working on something we're calling the Life and Legacy Program. You'll be hearing a lot more about that in the coming weeks and months. And that's been in the works, and it's a great new project that will help all of us prepare for life's hurdles and the eventualities. So, so certainly preparedness is our best. I don't know where I'm going with that, but something we need to very much be prepared as we age in community. And so look forward the Life and Legacy Program. And also two new committees this year, or two new teams. We have the Member Experience, which is like membership as well as customer service, for lack of a better phrase, but the overarching experience of being a member of Chicago Hyde Park Village. And so, one project they're working on is a new member onboarding workflow to ensure when someone joins Hyde Park Village that they don't slip through the cracks. That we do our best to actively engage them and ensure that whatever reason they choose to join CHPV for is something we can ensure that we follow through with them and they can fully participate in that. So, and then another new team is the DEIA team. That's diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. And so this is very important work that Hyde Park Village is committed to. And two new things that I want to plug that the DEIA team has worked on in conjunction with the board of directors has recently adopted this equity statement, a signature development of the last year. I'm not going to read this full statement to you. You can find it online on our mission page at chpv.org, or you can read this when you download the presentation afterwards. But this statement certainly just outlines our commitment to building a future together and breaking down a lot of historic inequities and marginalizations within and beyond our neighborhood. So I look forward to working across CHPV to live up to this promise. Another development that's recently
Lucas,
stemmed, yes, please.
did I miss it in the committees? The fundraising committee.
Oh my goodness. Thanks, Ina Grace.
Very
Hey,
important
couldn't do it
committee.
without that. Yeah, the fundraising
Planning our
committee is
spring,
doing. Yeah.
I guess it's our summer fundraiser.
That's
Yes, with
right.
Margaret
Yeah, we have
as
more of that
chair.
coming up later. Yeah.
Yes,
And that brings up another point is that we don't have a concise place where everyone can go to see, well, what are Hyde Park Village's committees? And so that's something we're going to be working on this year is to build a page on our website that lists all of our committees. So your executive director doesn't flub and forget to put one on the
yes,
slides.
yes.
So, yeah, thanks so much, Ina Grace. I really appreciate that. Very important, very important. Our fundraising committee. Yes, thank you. So look for that webpage in the future for our committees, a one-stop shop. But yeah, this great project. I want to thank the DEIA team and especially Dorothy Strang, pictured bottom left here in the pink, who came up with this project idea. Just a great community building exercise. We call it Where in the World? So your journey to Chicago Hyde Park Village. And we debuted it just a couple weeks ago at our last lunch gathering, inviting everyone to come up and put pins on these maps where your journey began and where you have spent most of your time growing up. And as you see, there's a slips of paper with a few other questions jotted down there that it's a great way to really conversation starters for sure. And so we can just everyone can get to know a little bit more about who all is part of Chicago Hyde Park Village and how we have come from all over different places. So a great project that we'll continue to build on. And so much of what we do at Chicago Hyde Park Village is in support of social enrichment, education, health, and well-being, real bedrock of our mission. And a lot of the great work done by the program committee to lead so many of our programs throughout the year, our Zoom drop-ins and our lunch gatherings. We have so many great presentations throughout the year at our Zoom drop-ins pictured at left here, as well as some one-off or short-term and unique events. Highlighted a few down there, many involving a lot of the partnerships that we have forged through the organizational affiliations committee. And then on right here, many of the ongoing programs that we have throughout the year. So since so many of you participate in those programs yourselves, and I love to throw in a few figures just for fun. And at the top here, it says in 2023, you engaged in over 500 events focusing on learning, socialization, health, and well-being, and social support. So Additional great, statistics are fun. I don't know. I'm a data person. But just to put something in perspective, in 2023, one important thing is health and physical fitness in its many forms. In 23, you exercised a combined total of 1,733 person hours. And you ask me, well, what's a person hour, Lucas? Well, that's one way to just wrap your heads around something. If one person engages in 1 hour of activity, that's a person hour. So if 10 people engage in 10 hours of activity, that's 100 person hours. So between our Zoom yoga, our Zoom exercise, and our in-person exercise at our monthly lunch gatherings, a total of 1,733 person hours. Big shout out of thanks to the Share Network at the University of Chicago and an anonymous donor for supporting our yoga and physical fitness programs. So certainly very, very important and vital to our mission and philosophy of healthy aging. So we're going to continue our slideshow here, highlighting a few more really valuable programs and then on to services and membership and financials. We got a lot ahead, but I want to keep us going. And I think I am passing it on now over to, I believe, Dorothy, or are
That's
you?
right.
All
I
right,
just
thanks,
unmuted
Dorothy.
myself. So I'm just going to highlight a few of the programs that I'm kind of more involved with. And one is called Stronger Memory Program. It promotes brain health, and it's just 3 simple activities of reading out loud, doing some simple math, and writing by hand. We have been offering about 2 cohorts of this per year, and there's a volunteer facilitator that helps manage that. And the group meets via Zoom. And this workbook that you can kind of see in this photo is provided. And really it's a 12-week program. And the goal of it is within that 12 weeks to learn how the program works and then to really integrate it into your life. And the reason you do that is kind of like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth because you're excited about brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth so that you have healthy teeth and you can use it for all the functions that you need, healthy teeth. So that's how this program really is designed, though the activities yet you do. So for instance, by writing by hand, you could write notes to your grandchildren, write your family history or things like that can be really meaningful in and of themselves. But it's really just a brain health initiative. And Lucas, can you move on to the next slide? So one of those folks, I just talked to her recently, Helen Perriman. She shared this beautiful quote that she had. Both her daughter and her granddaughter, shared this with her recently. They said, "Your memory is getting better." So it was kind of interesting because she's actually been, very good about doing this program and doing it daily, and in fact, doing it more than once a day. And it's paying off, so she's getting this real great sense of as one ages, oftentimes one worries about cognitive decline, and so she's having some really wonderful experience with it. So twice a year we offer that, and we are extremely happy that people start working on it and then kind of integrate it into their lives. Lucas, can you next? Another program that I'm quite involved with is our Village Visitor program. And I was hired back in 2019 to start this program. And now it's really, it's exciting. It's really grown. And the basic recipe for this program is you take one volunteer, you take one older adult, and you add 1 hour per week. And miraculously fun arises, friendship arises. And this is an example, this group that meets, this is Laura Cracky. This is a person that visits her. He's a U of C student, and she lives on that street on Harper where, Halloween's the big thing. And just look at how much fun they're having. Sometimes when it's not Halloween, they're out doing gardening. She's done some organizing as well, and he's helped carry heavy boxes. So they can be very, they can vary quite a lot what a session is depending on the interests of the older adult that's being visited. Next. Here's another dyad that meets, they enjoy playing Scrabble together. So again, every visit can be different. There's some statistics thrown in here because people, like Lucas said, respond well to statistics. Our program has grown significantly. And in fact, as you can see, between just 2022 and 2023, we almost doubled the amount of visits that people got. So it has really sort of hit its stride. And, we are really excited. And, I was talking about the brain health earlier on. One of the things that is really problematic as one ages is that people start to interact less with others. So, the Village Visitor Program really can be not only beneficial for people who are receiving a visitor, but they can also be beneficial for the person giving the visit. So, I just highly encourage those of you who might have, an hour or two that you'd like to give. This is a wonderful way, to make a meaningful difference for someone else who maybe is limited. Next slide.
So, yeah, Dorothy, we were getting a little glitchiness with your vocals, but we're just going to keep moving forward and
Sorry, I think
no,
my thing just said it's unstable. So
yeah, that's fine. We'll keep going. We know this happens.
okay, yeah. So just the next slide. Yeah. So here's another lovely photos or some photos from folks that are visiting Alice Mulberry. Jay, her husband, has been very vocal on Good Neighbors and looking for resources to help while because she's aging with living with dementia. And oftentimes when you do have dementia, people don't know how to interact with you. And so what winds up happening oftentimes is people stop visiting you because they don't know dementia, so they're scared of it. And so what happens is the families that are living with it really get impacted. But the Village Visitor Program is one concrete way where it really gives people a very simple way that they just come and visit. So we have our first four-legged volunteer as well. And so they just come and have fun. And again, this is just, I think, a wonderful way where the work that we're doing, also supports with the Village Visitor Program, supports the work that we're doing in the dementia-friendly realm of our work. Next. So then this is the program I'm super excited about. We just this year or in 2023 started the Memory Cafe. And a Memory Cafe is a fun program, and it's for people who are living with dementia and their care partners. And here's just some images from several of the Memory Cafes that we've had over the past few months. Next. Here's some data again. We officially launched in October. We had hosted 3 events last year. So each month, it happens once a month on the 3rd Thursday of the month. And we are really excited. The first month we had a bunch of visitors who just were curious what it was, but we've had a steady amount of participants as well as volunteers. And we're really looking to have a minimum of at least 1-to-1 ratio of volunteer to participant. So we're really excited, and our numbers continue to be, rising. We have probably about 4 to 5 families that come each month. And then, probably around 10 or so volunteers that sort of manage the whole process. So we're really very excited. Next slide. Here's just a little bit of a slide that just kind of shows what's going on. So it's a welcoming space. We worked actually for quite a while trying to figure out where to even host it. We could have done it at Augustana, but we used it as an opportunity to leverage, build a relationship with a partner. So in the upper left, you can see we're in partnering with the Black sorority, AKA. They have a lovely space on 62nd and Ingleside, the Theta Omega chapter. Some of you might be familiar more with the building on 57th Street. That's like their national headquarters, but then each sort of chapter does their own thing. And this is the chapter on 62nd and Ingleside. It's a lovely space. We have music, we have dance, exercise, we do art on a regular basis. And yeah, Lucas, maybe you can play the video now
Yeah, for sure, for
if
sure.
it works. Yeah, the sound quality isn't very good, but it's a holiday. We oftentimes have themes, so that was a holiday themed. And as you saw, we always have we tend to have live music, so it's really also enjoyable for not just the participants, but also for the volunteers. Next. And then here, I just always like to include a couple quotes. This is from Paige Conti. She is the primary caregiver for her mom, Annette. Thank you for organizing the Memory Cafe. My mom had the biggest smile on her face today. I thought it was a lot of fun too. So it's really for people who are living in isolation, you know, when you're caring for someone in the depths of dementia, it's oftentimes there's not a lot of bright spots because life is difficult on a daily basis. But they, you know, are getting there to memory cafes and like many others. So we're super excited. So every third Thursday of the month is when we host these.
Great.
Next.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Dorothy. Yeah, the Memory Cafe, a wonderful new addition to CHPV's lineup of programs. And that's really, yeah, the intersection program and service. So often it's hard to distinguish the two. But, and you touched briefly on, yeah, our partnership with Alpha Kappa Alpha Akarama, the historically black sorority, our neighbors in Hyde Park, Woodlawn, and where the program is held, and they've been a fabulous partner with us throughout the entire process, and it's a great new partnership. Just it goes to show how much the success of what we do is really important to bringing people together and bringing together different organizations for a mutual purpose. Another great example of a partnership that we love to highlight every year in our annual report is the Hyde Park Community Thanksgiving Day Meal. And that's a partnership between Chicago Hyde Park Village and Augustana Lutheran Church, where we host the event every year. And of course, at the bottom there, a real special thanks to Hyde Park Produce for providing that neighborly price for helping us to host the event that serves so many throughout the community. As you can see on the slide here, just a few statistics here, how we provided over 70 delicious traditional meals with all the fixins. So many in person at Augustana Lutheran Church, but also thanks to many volunteers involved, we were able to deliver at least 9 meals to our homebound individuals who couldn't celebrate with us in person. So many meals were given complimentary to those who may not easily be able to afford the price of the meal. And 26 hardworking volunteers who brought it all together, and a huge shout out and thanks to our board member, Susan Alito, who really is so much of the driving force behind ensuring that this event is a fabulous success every year. And a big thanks to the many volunteers, as well as our those who volunteer to deliver the meals, driving not only the meals to people's doorsteps, but also driving people to the event and from the event. So big thanks to everyone to help make this come together. So, and I think now we're going to segue into some of our services, the direct services that Chicago Hyde Park Village offers to its members. And with that, Laura Voss Allen, welcome you and hand the microphone over to you to talk about our services.
Thanks, Lucas. Hi, everyone. Just to go over, I think our ride service is definitely one of our most important services that we provide. And I get many, many more calls than I used to, people inquiring about that. Word is spreading about our ride service. Now this slide may make you think that our ride service is going down, because we had fewer rides in 2023 than 2022. But if you look at it closely, the increase in 2022 was huge. It was up 34%. So I think it's more just leveling out. And the interesting thing about this year was the increase in rides for CHPV events. Usually that is not such a large percentage, but I think it's just as people are starting to do more things now that COVID is subsiding and we're starting to have more programs, more people are coming, and our associate members who also can get rides to events are taking advantage of that. I think our rides are also increasing. For those of you who are familiar with the University of Chicago Senior Care Center in South Shore, they used to provide a one-way ride back home from their appointments, and they are no longer doing that. So for us, that means that people who go there, they now are requesting a round trip ride as opposed to a one-way ride. So Lucas, and then one other thing, if we can go back quickly, our quote at the bottom, so many of our members, particularly our full members, are really appreciative of our ride service. And our member Ellie Hall sent this wonderful thank you to our drivers, to all you village drivers for the rides to and from my cataract surgery. It was a lot to do. 6 rides, 2 surgeries, and 2 checkups per eye. It meant a great deal for me to have you to depend on. So our members really, really are grateful for that service. Okay, Lucas. Referrals to third-party providers. We show here 30 total in 2023. However, that does not include any of our members who go onto our referral database on our website and find referrals themselves. Just a note that the other includes diversity, donation center locations, electricians, and legal testamentary. Okay, Lucas. And then our other services. So we had an increase in medical companions this year, and also well-being checks. And I think for the first time, we have animal therapy. As was mentioned, we have our first 4-legged volunteer, and we have another 4-legged volunteer that will be starting soon. So our animal therapy may go up. And tech support also increased this year. I think our tech cafe is very, very popular. And the miscellaneous includes financial, legal, companion pet, which is the one you see pictured there, and family support.
All right. Yeah. And so many of our services, as Laura highlighted, with driving, for example, our rideshare service, and so many of the other programs that we do throughout the year are really contingent, of course, as we've been saying over and over, on volunteerism. You know, it's very much, in as much as one joins to participate for whatever reason, Hyde Park Village, it's volunteerism is also a core aspect of the community building that we do. And so so we definitely want to take a little bit of a moment to just put in perspective the impact of volunteerism. Dorothy, are you handling?
Yeah, I can talk to this. So each year we sort of, Shu actually looked up this information for us. There's a group called Independent Sector, and they update this each year. So this amount, $32.68, that is basically what it would cost us if we had to hire somebody to do the work that many of our amazing volunteers do. So it's not an insignificant figure. So that is always why we are asking you to report your time, keep in touch with us of, what you're doing. Can you move on to the next slide? So this is the cumulative. We had 87 volunteers who provided 3,391 hours of volunteer time. And that, when you multiply it by the figure in the previous slide, that's the equivalent of $110,000 or almost $111,000. So this is, this is what the value added by the volunteers in our, the many volunteers giving of their time very generously. So, and then the next slide is really just an extra shout out, specifically to people who have volunteered, 60 hours or more per year. Thank you very much. There's some annotations there. The number behind everybody's name is how many hours. If they have an asterisk, that means they are part of our village visitor program. And if they have that little upward arrow, that means they're one of our volunteer drivers. So we really appreciate, and I think we have at least one instance where someone is a village visitor and a driver. So we do not mind when you multitask. We are very appreciative of it, but it is, as our tagline often is, it's neighbors helping neighbors. So this is really what makes us, be able to do all these amazing things. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Dorothy, and thanks to all of our volunteers. So I see, Laura, you have your hand up. Did you?
Yes, one thing I forgot to do on my ride slide was to speak up and encourage all of you. We really need more drivers. So if you know of anyone who has a car, who drives, and might have a little extra time, I challenge you to approach them and just say, hey, would you want to be a volunteer driver for us? Even if they can only do 1 or 2 rides a month, every little bit helps. So that we have some real heavy lifters in our driver pool, and I'm sure they would enjoy a break.
Yeah, absolutely. No, very, very important. Thanks for raising your hand to say that. So really important. And yeah, and I think one of the best ways to find and recruit new volunteers, whether it's as a driver or something else, is to have someone who's a trusted friend ask you to do it. So all of you who are volunteering for Chicago Hyde Park Village, find someone else and ask them, hey, would you like to volunteer on this, that, or the other? And if you're a volunteer driver, then grab your friends and try to persuade them to sign up as volunteer drivers, because yeah, it's a really important service for our members. Great. And our members, who are our members? Let's talk a little bit about our members. So this is great. I'm excited about this. Our numbers have gone up substantially. Over the past few years, we've kind of been hovering around 200 members. And just in this last year, that has increased a lot. We're now at 215 members, at least as of the date of the creation of this slide. And you can see in 2023 alone, 36 new members joined Chicago Hyde Park Village. Every year we get some new members, but then every year we lose some members. But in the last year, we have certainly gotten more members than we have lost. Just a few other data points here that I think are rather interesting. So of the 215 members, that's 178 households, and you see it's spread out across 16 zip codes. Overwhelmingly, 90% are the Hyde Park, Kenwood, and Woodlawn neighborhoods, to zip codes 60615 and 60637. Actually, we saw a decrease, 4% decrease in the percentage of our members from those neighborhoods, because we have gotten more members from other zip codes, namely, especially a 3% increase in the 60649, the South Shore neighborhoods. So I see that as really exciting. We call ourselves Chicago Hyde Park Village, but we are the southernmost of the Chicago area villages, and so we serve a pretty large community around in the neighboring neighborhoods. So just to break down, 22% are full members, 76% are associate members, and now 2% are access members. I have a whole nother slide for the access membership, so I'll hold off for a moment. And every year, I always find it interesting. Some of our members will transition from one type of membership to another, and I think that's great for us to have that fluidity as people's needs change. They may desire to switch and transition between membership types, and so one person went from an associate to a full member, and 5 individuals, you could say, quote unquote, downgraded from a full membership to an associate membership, meaning perhaps they realized that they don't necessarily need to take advantage of our transportation service, or they could very well be some people move out of the neighborhood, but they still want to support us as associate level members. That happens as well, so which is wonderful. Access membership, we debuted this just last year. I remember announcing it at our last annual meeting. So we certainly understand that some of our members find it's a little more difficult to pay for their membership. And so we debuted the access membership for those individuals who meet the income requirements to qualify for the Illinois Benefits Access Program. And our access membership offers the services of full membership, so access to the ride service and medical companions, but it at a very reduced membership dues level, an annual dues of $100 per year, which is our lowest, most affordable membership level. And so now 2% of our membership is access membership just in the last year. So I'm looking forward to seeing that increase as we move ahead. So just ensuring that the vital services and socialization of Chicago Hyde Park Village is available to people regardless of their income level. So really excited about access membership. Then another thing that excites me is our online membership renewal. We debuted this, as you see here, in September of 2022, so just over a year ago. And now 45% of our members renew online. And that has really skyrocketed over the recent initial months of having debuted this. And so you are, hopefully, if we have your email address, you're receiving the email messages to renew your membership when it comes up towards the renewal period once a year. And so, yeah, if you've been a little hesitant about it, try the online renewal option and see if it works for you. So very exciting. Yeah, and we do have a handy little YouTube tutorial on how to renew your membership online. Sometimes I know I find it's a lot more peace of mind to first see it done for me and then do it myself. And so we've created a handful of different YouTube tutorial videos on renewing your membership online, how to register for an event online, and a variety of other different tutorials. So visit our YouTube page. You'll find the link to that in the upper left corner of our website, and I think the bottom right corner of our website too. So, and towards the bottom, I think, maybe not, of our weekly emails. So check that out. Well, for the next few minutes, I don't want to spend too much time, but we will talk a bit about some financials. So revenues and expenses every year. It's so important to highlight these. This information is presented a little differently from the way we had presented it in recent years. So this slide here highlights our different revenue streams. I think it's interesting for us to look at this and just really put it into context. Where does our money come from? You see, it's a not quite a one third split between grants, membership, and donations. So, and then a little slice from program revenue, such as for the monthly lunch gathering or any other program that where we charge a fee. So grants is the University of Chicago Share Network, and as well as the Elizabeth Louise Smith Fund. So two main sources for of grants. We also in years prior had received money from the University of Chicago Community Programs Accelerator. We're no longer receiving that. That was a limited term grant, and so we're now alumni, as it's called, of the Community Programs Accelerator. And you see then, yeah, membership fee is a very important source of revenue for us. We're Hyde Park Village is heavily reliant on membership and on donations, and very often it's our members who are our donors and our donors who are our members. And they're not, it's not a 100% overlap, but it is substantial. So yeah, and over the past many years, we're celebrating now 10 years of Chicago Hyde Park Village. Certainly a lot of our costs have gone up, our expenses have risen, but for the most part, we very much try to keep our membership fee as low as possible, and even debuting, as we saw, the access membership for people on a more limited income. But just last year, we did, for the first time since Hyde Park Village was established, we did increase our membership dues, the associate level membership only, not the full level membership. This year, the board of directors has approved a budget that does increase our full membership now. So effective, well, after this presentation, our full membership, we're compelled to increase that by only $20 a year. So it's really, hopefully we hope you'll find that it's a reasonable increase, as much as we find that it's a reasonable amount to ask our full members, for all the benefits they're receiving, to pay only an additional $20 per year. And that's whether you are an individual full membership or a household full membership. It's going up just $20. And our associate level membership, we're only just nudging that up just a little bit, only $5 so per year. So one less cup of coffee per year to help support Chicago Hyde Park Village at the associate membership level. We are not, it's very important to us, we are not raising the cost for the access membership. The purpose of that is to try to make benefits of full membership accessible to people who otherwise could not afford the benefits of full membership. So we are keeping the access level membership at just $100 per year, whether you are an individual or a household. So these are our revenues. You see, our revenues have gone up. Yay! An additional $22,000 in revenue increase over the last year. And then we have our expenses. So here it gives a breakdown of what's all that money going towards. A lot of it is to keep the doors open and keep everything running. Payroll is a substantial portion, but that is so not just administrative overhead, but the staff also are responsible for a lot of the programming and service fulfillment. So really, that is a huge percentage of what it takes to run Chicago Hyde Park Village, even with all of the incredible amount of time. And boy, we really should, and here, put another piece of this pie in here as what would be, I guess, the in-kind contribution of all of our volunteer time. That previous slide we saw, where it was over $100,000 a year in volunteer time, if we were to actually pay our volunteers what they did. So maybe next year we'll see that extra piece of pie in here. And then management and program expenses. So management is everything that's not payroll. So that is, paying our paying for our rent, paying for all of the supplies, and paying for all the other aspects of running the business. And then programmatic expenses are for renting the spaces as well as the supplies and food and such. So, I'm going to point out something here that you'll see. So, for example, 2023, our expenses were $180,000 and our revenues were $177,000. So that is our less money in than money going out. Our expenses, so you could say, in other words, running at a bit of a deficit. This was something we did anticipate. We knew about it last year. We talked about it in our annual report, and even the year prior, we said, this could come ahead as we move forward. But we were anticipating this, and we're drawing from the reserves that we've built up throughout the pandemic when we received a substantial grant from that University of Chicago Community Programs Accelerator. And now we're drawing from those reserves to pay for the anticipated increases in our costs. And so yeah, to keep our organization working, it is incumbent upon us and the board of directors that, we need to look out for the financial well-being of the organization. And so that does go back to the need, unfortunately, to increase the dues to help offset that. But another huge important source of our revenue, as we touched on, is our incredible donors who very much keep this organization afloat because of this mutual belief in the powerful mission of Chicago Hyde Park Village, of vibrant, healthy aging in community. And so a huge thanks to all of our wonderful donors, and we broke it down here by various levels of giving. You see that our foundations, as we mentioned, the Elizabeth Louise Smith Fund and the Share Network from the University of Chicago, the Judith and Edwin Cohn Foundation, our board member Margaret Hike, and the anonymous donor for supporting our yoga exercise class, giving in the $5,000 level and above annually. But huge thanks to everyone who contributes to Chicago Hyde Park Village throughout the year. Giving financially or giving your time, if you can't give as much financially, and that is very important to us. We couldn't do it without you and everyone who is part of this incredible team of making Chicago Hyde Park Village work. So many of you give to the organization in memory of loved ones and friends, and also in honor of important people in your life, or important people in Chicago Hyde Park Village. So a big thanks to those who have given in honor or memory of someone, and a recognition here of those individuals for whom donations were given in memory of or in honor of those individuals. So again, you can download these slides shortly after this presentation. You'll have access to them certainly by this evening, and if you want to look more closely at this. So, and then another shout out and thanks to our sponsors, our corporate donors, DB Dentistry and the Polo Inn, giving at the silver level of $1,000 to $24.99, and then to Toyota on Western, and our board member Rita McCarthy giving through her business Realty, Coldwell Banker Realty. So giving at the bronze level, $500 to $999. Thank you very much to our sponsors. And I think one of our final slides here, as Ina Grace heralded earlier in the presentation, we do have, the great work of our fundraising committee, who has been diligently working on our upcoming 10th anniversary benefit. So I think, Margaret, do we have you here? Do you want to shout out to those of us on the line here, telling us about? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, this is we're thinking a decade, and I'm trying to decide how to describe our decade. So I started making a long list. It could be daunting, daring, all kinds of adjectives, but dynamic is the one that I think really, it's been a dynamic, sometimes a daring, sometimes daunting effort. It's to really get it going, and we've had so many delightful times together. So we're going to have celebrate this dazzling decade, dynamic decade, on Sunday, July 14th. And we will be gather for an afternoon of entertainment, togetherness, and goodies to eat. And we're going to go to the Akarama Service Center, which is a lovely facility. You saw it. We've had programs there. They have a wonderful large parking lot, which is terrific. And we will have live music by Maggie Brown, who entertained us 10 years ago. And she said, yes, I'll come back and do it again and celebrate with you. So we have a wonderful committee who is going to think about all the specifics of food, decorations, and getting the word out. So it's really important to get everybody there, because we decided to have an event because they're really fun. It's a lot of work, but they're also a lot of fun. And it's a really good time to get together and celebrate and meet new people and see the people you know somewhat, and even people you know quite well, and enjoy the afternoon with them. So we will have that as part of our fundraiser. We will also have an auction, as we did last year. We've had for a couple of years. We'll have an online auction for a week. And we're collecting wonderful experiences and things. And that's a lot of what our committee is doing, is going and finding restaurants and other exciting, fun things to do to offer in our auction online. So you can all have the chance to bid on that. That will run for a week. And we'll also have a small silent auction in person at the event. So you have many chances to pick something up and contribute a little more. And in addition, we're really going to encourage everyone. We have a very generous group, as you saw. We've got hundreds of people, members and community supporters, who are willing to put part of their discretionary income in donating to our benefit. And that's the only way we're going to make it. And that's the way any village is really going to make it. And we'd like to have you think about making those donations now rather than in December. So I'm going to be hoping that we can get our substantial donors and people to say, yes, I'll do it now, and you can count on the money. And I'm also going to try to build a program of sustained pledges, to make a 3-year commitment of how much, so that we can begin to count on it. Because we've had these grants, but the grants are not going to be with us for long. We have no idea whether we will get any money from SHARE in the future. We're pretty sure that the other sources of major funding are going away. Now, we may find some other ones, but the fact is it's really going to be up to us. And so our fundraising committee is taking that very serious as a challenge. And so we're going to try to plan more effectively and efficiently to so that we don't end up in a few years saying, oh my goodness, what happened? Because we know what's coming. And we will prepare, and we are a generous group, and we want to keep our own enterprise going. So I really look forward to seeing you all there, and you could all help out by inviting people to come to the benefit, buying a whole table yourself, or buying multiple tickets and invite your friends too. That's a good way to do it. But certainly make sure that all your friends, supporters, potential people who might enjoy this will come out and come have fun with us. So I will.
Margaret?
Yep.
Since it's Bastille Day, can we look forward to fireworks?
I know it's Bastille Day. We were trying to think, okay, how far do we want to go with Bastille Day? If you want to do some Bastille Day, fine.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Margaret. Yeah. So call to action, everyone. So as Margaret said, yes, do please pledge to support us on our 10th anniversary to ensure that the organization thrives and continues. So ending this annual meeting with a party here. And then also, you know, some great news, wonderful things that people are saying about Chicago Hyde Park Village. I'm not going to go through and read all of this to you, but you know, I think the middle few say it's. I love the village and how everyone works together. That's kind of the key there. Is it's neighbors helping neighbors and building this community, and it takes our whole village. So everything coming together to make this work. And some great press and publicity that Chicago Hyde Park Village has gotten in the last year. This is a slide that I invite you to, once you download the presentation as a PDF, there should be little hyperlinks you can click on to, if you haven't yet watched. And on our homepage, do visit our homepage and click on the video to watch this nice story that CBS Chicago did on Hyde Park Village a few months ago, and read this newspaper article by the Citizen on our tech cafe. So check out these great bits of the news. And you know, this great quote from Nick Curry at the University of Chicago: when the relationships work well, all kinds of new and interesting projects can emerge from those collaborations. So that's really just thumps the importance of our partnerships, all the great partnerships that Chicago Hyde Park Village forges with the community and others forge with us. So, for example, the Memory Cafe has blossomed into this wonderful partnership with Akarama, and now we're hosting our 10th anniversary there. So, really excited about that. So, yeah, without further ado, we reach the end of our annual report. Thank you all so very much. And we're happy if anyone has any questions. I know we're at time, but if people have any questions, thoughts, or comments, chime in. And yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And we look forward to the year ahead with everyone together.
Thank you.
Great. Any thoughts, questions, comments from anyone?
Just thank you to you, Lucas, and Dorothy and Laura, for putting all this together. You know, we go about day by day volunteering and supporting and working, and it's good to see it all pulled together, and golly, we're doing a lot.
I would like to comment and congratulate our staff on their above and beyond service to us. Speaking just from the Membership Services Committee, we have no idea, you know, what's going on a day-to-day basis between our monthly meetings, except for the staff who carry out so much more than their assignment. And so it's really moving us forward more than even our committee has been able to do, but we're going to try to match them now.
Good. Okay.
I would also like to say that I think the great presentation that the staff and Lucas put on today. It's just amazing the work that goes in. Nobody really quite understand how much work is involved in producing this type of thing. And you know, I just still think we are a organization, a well-established organization that does well in the community. I still think we're too quiet about what we do, and you know, it's just I mean, if we could sell T-shirts at the anniversary, that would be nice to get the names out there. When people just walk around during the summer, they can wear these T-shirts. It's just too quiet for all the work that's being done. This is a wonderful organization for people that, in most cases, can't do for themselves, and it's it's a wonderful thing. I'm so proud of it. I know I'm not always available like I usually could be, but I'm hoping that I can contribute more as we go forward. Well done. Well done.